Wanted to go live, talk about a couple of things, the ups and downs. We're a couple of years post-pandemic. We got a new president. There's a recession, and I was watching a live with one of my mentors, and he was saying sometimes you just gotta go talking to the camera as if you're talking to yourself. And somebody else may need to hear it that's going through the same thing. And it's for everybody who may be going through what I've gone through. And it's about get access. I think they call it the lottery effect. And you're doing the best you can, but somewhere, some way, somehow, you just decide to crash out. There may be a couple of months, seasons, and absolutely fucking nothing is working right. And they say, you ever heard that saying, you know better, you do better? I realize that's not true. You do not do better just because you know better. You do better when you feel better. Tony Robbins talks about this, about physiological changes, moving your body, jumping up and down, smiling at yourself in the mirror, all these physical activities that you can do to improve your state of mind and being in that exact moment of time. Even listening to sales, as I'm improving my sales ability every day. Different salespeople get themselves psyched up to make cold calls, go on stage. Like, there are these practices, and if you want to call it a ritual, that high performing individuals do, whether it's sports, boxing, competition, or getting on cold calls, that you have to do to change your state of being, change your state of mind. And I thought it was some woo-woo BS, but in reality, it works. So I started, doing things that would change my, how I felt and feel. Things have been happening, people have been passing away. It's kind of crazy. Business been slow. But going through, right? If you're in a situation where if you crashed out, like you had the money, things were going well, business was booming, everybody was buying whatever it was you were putting on the internet, but you're in a slow season right now, or you feel like I've spoken to a lot of people that are getting ready for bankruptcy. A lot of people that are getting ready for bankruptcy after, the big boom that we had. After the pandemic, right? So a couple of things. If you're in a position, you're still making money, but your money isn't covering your bills. None of this is financial advice, right? I am not your CPA, your attorney, or anything like that. But just some advice. If you feel like, even though you make good money, but you can't keep up with your bills, and you're trying to determine what you want to do, right? Absolutely build up all of your nest eggs. Robert Kiyosaki mentioned this when he mentioned how he would be late on bills, but he kept investing into his asset column, right? Build up your assets. If you have stocks and bonds, crypto, keep making the investments into those accounts. Keep putting that in there, right? Keep putting the money into those accounts, because this is what's going to happen. After you file bankruptcy, you're going to need money to rebuild. Rebuilding, reestablishing your credit is not free. It's never been free. You're absolutely going to need money to rebuild. So keep putting and making those deposits into those type of asset-based accounts, whether it's your mutual fund, whole life insurance policy, your crypto, your retirement account, or if you just have a savings account that gains you interest. Keep making those deposits. If you have to be late because you're on the brink of bankruptcy, and anyone who tracks their money and is paying attention to their cash flow, you know that you're on the brink of bankruptcy. It's not a fucking surprise. You know you're on the brink, even with the money you have coming in. Because it's not like you don't have money coming in. You're making money. You're probably making good money. You're probably making over $70,000 a year. You're probably making over $100,000 a year. But, you know, you decide lifestyle creep happens. You got a little too comfortable. You figure, hey, I'm going to spend a little more, but I know I'm going to make it back. And it turns out you didn't make it back. So you got to take off those rose-colored lenses, those rose-colored glasses, and just be real with yourself. Shit fucked up. You may have to crash out. But before you do, get as much and as many assets as you can so that you can quickly rebuild before filing bankruptcy. Right? Like all that, I was homeless, blah, 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 that you see on the internet, you know, Steve Harvey, Eric Thomas, other people, that don't have to be you. You don't have to be homeless to get rich. Like, fuck that. Fuck that being homeless. Not, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that shit. Don't be homeless. Don't go homeless. Do not go homeless. Put some money up. Have some money tucked away on the side somewhere so you can quickly rebuild. Put a couple of thousand in there. Put 5, 10, 6 months, whatever. Right? Have that ready. Because you're going to need it. If you have assets, if you don't have reoccurring revenue, monthly reoccurring revenue, build it up. Get a tenant. Put a tenant in your house or in a room so you can have that monthly reoccurring coming in. Right? Even if you're an affiliate marketer and your affiliate marketing can create monthly residual income for you, set that up. You want all of these things because that autopilot money is great. It comes from tenants. It comes from selling subscription-based services. You want that when you're in the process of rebuilding. Don't quit your day job. It's okay to work and be an entrepreneur. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to burn the boats. You can absolutely work your job, continue to earn that paycheck, and build something on the side until that thing surpasses your job. 100%. But if you feel like you need to leave your job, do that. But I wouldn't recommend you do it until you matched your income. If you're like, hey, I'm going from making $90,000 a year to not making any money, you're immediately putting yourself in a bad spot. Immediately putting yourself in a bad spot. You absolutely don't want to do that. And when you're going for funding, you don't want to be looking for funding to pay your bills. That only puts you in a worse position. It gets you that much closer to going into bankruptcy. Because you already don't have the money to cover your bills. When you go for a loan, that loan ain't going to last that long. And guess what? You just add it on a bill. So it may seem like a relief in the beginning, but it's not going to be a relief. Because once all those funds are used up, when you go for your funding, the money. Have a way to double the money. If you want 10,000, go for the 10,000. Already have a plan to turn it into 20. That way it's not a burden. That's when it becomes bad debt. When you're not making money from it. And any debt can turn into bad debt, just like some debt can turn into good debt. But the point of the debt is so that it can immediately make you more money. You already have a marketing plan. You have a budget. You have contracts in place. You already have the things available, and you just need the money so that you can go fulfill the contract, right? The government is going to be paying you, but you need the money to go buy the materials so that you can fulfill your contract with the government, right? Whether it's toilet tissue or mops, paper towels, bed linens, whatever, right? Get the funding so that you can fulfill the contract. You already have the contract. Most of the time, you don't need the money right then and there to get the contract. That's up to you, your ability to network, negotiate, make shit happen, and close deals. Close the deal, go get the funding. Use the contract as collateral to get the funding. If you didn't know you could do that, you can do that. Real banks doing real business will take a government contract and use that as collateral. You can get lending against your contract, right? But warning sign that you probably going to crash out when you go for this funding is before you even get the funding, you're already worried about how you're about to pay it back. If that's the first thought in your mind, then you might not want to go for the funding just yet, because you might crash out. You might be about to crash out if you thinking, oh, I need to go get funding, but goddamn, how I'm going to pay it back. That's a warning sign. That means something needs to be done before you go get the funding. Before you go get the funding, already have a way to make all the money back. Already have it figured out. When you get funding, put some away. Don't use it all on one play. If you got 10,000, okay, look for a play that you only need 5,000 to make something happen. Or if it's a $10,000 play, go get 20,000. That way you're only using half of what you got. And the other half can be used to service the debt that you just got. That's the time we want to be on. Because the crash was really in 2025. A lot of people going for bankruptcy. Folks is trying to get funding, but everything is maxed out. You're not, and the banks is like, nah, the banks themselves is maxed out. And it's not going to get any easier. Right? If you see a good time to go for funding, or let's say you want debt consolidation, best time to go to debt consolidation is when you already see you're at like 40%. I would even say 30%. Once you hit 30% and you go over that 30%, it's time to do debt consolidation. Go ahead, grab another zero interest credit card. Go ahead, grab a debt consolidation loan. Pay down them credit cards. Always stay in position for more lending, because it's hard to get to the position of being bankable and lendable. But it's easy as hell to fall out of that position. It's super easy to become unbankable. It only takes one late payment. It only takes one account going into collections. It only takes one. You want to stay in position. If you're not in position and you're a small business owner, you make a move, your company is growing, buddy up, partner up, bring on a credit partner. Somebody with good credit. Always have friends with good credit, better credit than you, so that way y'all can keep getting funding. Help each other maintain your credit. Move debt around between people. Move debt around between people. Move invoices around between your friends. Move invoices around through your businesses. Do business with other business. Do business with other business. Get those Stripe payments. Get those Square payments. Because Stripe and Square are going to lend you money based on the amount of invoices that are being paid to you. So pay invoices to your friends. Have your friends pay invoices to you. That income counts. That income can turn into the working capital that you're going to need to sustain your business when things get slow. And don't wait for anything to get slow to start asking for capital. Always be looking for capital. Folks act like going for funding is a one-time occurrence. And that's how I know. That's how I know when a person never done funding before. They're like, oh, how much can I get? You can get as much funding as you qualify for. I'm going to say this again. If the first question you got is, well, how much funding can I get? You can get as much funding as you qualify for. So the question you want to start asking is not how much can I get, is how much do I actually qualify for? Can you tell me how much I qualify for? These are my data points. This is how much I make. This is my revenue. This is my profit. This is the industry I'm in. This is how old my company is. This is who I bank with. These are the products. This is the type of product I want. How much can I get? As much as you qualify for. And how much do you think you qualify for? Well, I don't have no revenue. Okay, well, that's going to impact how much you qualify for. Funding isn't magic. Funding isn't a hope and a prayer. Funding isn't a guessing game. Well, some part of it is a guessing game, but most of it are formulas. Most of it are data points, right? If you know the data points, you're good. If you know how to play the game, you'll be able to win it. There's a lot of us that don't want to learn how to play the game. Banks want your business to be cash flowing. Banks want to... These are the basic things they want to see. And it's okay if you got to start over. If you crashed out, you got to start over. That's fine. It happens. But don't crash out to the point where you emptied out all your bank accounts trying to cover bills. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. You don't want to crash all the way out. You don't want to be like, I spent all my money trying to keep up with my bills. Let them bills go. Keep your cash. Keep the cash that you got in your account and let those bills go. If that's where you are with the situation. Because either way, if you're not able to keep up with your bills, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to let it go anyway. So it's better to let it go with money in the bank, a couple of that savings that you had, a couple of thousand that you got, that 6 to 12 months that you got saved for when you want to launch or exit your your 6 to 12 months of savings that you have in case something goes wrong. Keep that. Don't empty that out just trying to pay a bill, especially unsecured debt. That's why bankruptcies exist. Bankruptcies exist so that you can start over. And the people that use them the most do not empty out their bank accounts just to pay a bill. Robert Kiyosaki was like, I'll let my bills be late. If it's going to be late, it's going to be late. It is what it is. But I'm going to keep putting money into this asset column. Because what you don't want to do is have all of these bills, be late, have all of these charge-offs, have to file bankruptcy, and guess what? You used up all your money just trying to cover the bills. So now you can't even file for bankruptcy because that's $2,000 to $3,000. Keep the money. Keep the money. Don't use up your savings trying to pay a bill. Keep the money. If you got to file for bankruptcy, you still working, you're still making 70, 80, 90, over 100, but shit just happened, you got sick, job laid you off, you thought shit was sweet when they was giving out all this money, it turned out it wasn't, you got into a bad deal, whatever the situation is. These type of things happen to everybody all the time, and it's happening more and more and more. Don't empty out your life savings on one project or one idea, because you're going to need something when shit go left, and shit always goes left. Always. This is just real shit. This is real shit that's been going on. Having the same conversation over and over with different people from different places, different walks of life. You know, I'm 30, you know, all of my credit cards are maxed out. I need a debt consolidation loan, but I can't get one. What I'm going to do, use somebody else's credit. I mean, a co-signer. I don't mean, you know, I'm not talking about scamming. I mean, get a co-signer. Get a co-signer that can co-sign on a debt consolidation loan. Use the debt consolidation loan to pay off your maxed out credit cards, especially if it's only $30,000. And hustle up. Learn to sell some shit. Like, people be like, you want to make extra money, but you don't want to sell nothing. Well, I don't know how you're going to make any extra money. We can't be like, we want to make more without doing more. If you're in that type of position, you're going to have to do more to make more. That's just what it is. You're going to have to get a new skill. You have to learn how to sell. You're going to learn how to network. You're going to learn how to create opportunities for yourself. You're going to learn how to, if you're in a field that is very degree and certificate driven, that's great. That's the easiest way to earn more money. Get a new certificate. If you're in the IT field, every new certification you get, bam, that's another 10, 50, 100K that you're going to get. If you're in the medical field, that's another 50K you're going to get for every new certification you get. Depending on the type of degree you have, that could be another 100K a year. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to waste all of your money trying to pay your bills, because some of that money you got tucked away, you could put that towards upskilling yourself. Get that new certification. Get that new degree. That's going to add 50 to 100K to your income. And you'll bounce back. You'll bounce back. You always bounce back. There's a bunch of statistics that say most people don't bounce back, but fuck it, you're not a statistic. You're you. You're 101. You're going to be the person that failed and you came back. It was hard. Shit was fucked up. You had to do shit you didn't think you was going to do, but you bounced back. You asked friends for help. You got real creative with your negotiations. Maybe you did some public assistance when you didn't want to and it hurt your pride, but you bounced back. You got your shit together. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. But this 2025 crash out is real right now, y'all. Check on your friends. Check on your family. Make sure they good. That's for sure. Just make sure they good. Anyway, y'all, that was enough rambling. I'm out. Let me see. A bunch of random comments from different parts of the world. That's what's up. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all take it easy. Peace.